Hey guys, Jacob with Jacob Comics. Alright, we're gonna have a really fun episode today. We're reading and reviewing Carnage number 7, this current ongoing run by Ram V that's actually super awesome. I'm really enjoying it. And man, check out these covers. All like the whole run has had a set of covers done by Kendrick Lim. I gotta give a shout out. This series of covers he's done on the cover A's is absolutely phenomenal. All right, guys. Now, before we get dived into Carnage number 7, I do want to let you guys know about the 500 subscriber giveaway. When we hit 500 subscribers, we'll be giving this book away. It's a Silver Cerberus number 1, store exclusive. All you have to do is like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and we'll be raffling the book off when we hit 500 subscribers, based on comments on the road to 500. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, give yourself a chance to win the book. All right, now let's go ahead and get dived into Carnage number 7. Now, as always, there's a couple things to cover. First off, I do want to let you know we're going to be going heavy into spoilers. So if you don't want to be spoiled for Carnage 7, that's your warning. Next up, we always have to shout out the creative team, because without the creative team, we wouldn't have a comic, right, guys? Alright, so on Carnage 7, we have Ram V as the writer, Roj Antonio is the artist, Eric Arciniega is doing colors, VC's Joe Sabino is doing letters, and the cover, as I said, is done by Kendrick Lim. And so we're going to go ahead and get dived in. Now, it starts, and as we left off in the last episode, we saw, Detective John Shade and his new friend here, this, let's just call him an elf, basically, in Niflheim, in the land of the dead, who was stuck there forever. He's kind of helped to free him, and the elf was like, I'll help you get out of here, right? So they're taking on these frost giants and just laying waste to him, right? And, you know, as they continue to lay waste to all of them, Detective John Shade's kind of thinking about what what he's actually done. He's like, I broke you out to help you get me out of here. Why do we have to go kill all these frost giants? As you see, they sort of they end up here at Hvelgmir, the Great Well. Kind of show you a little bit so you can check out. So they've arrived there, and they're just slaughtering more of these people in the land of the dead. And so then we go on to seeing Helia. And Helia is talking with one of her servants, who's basically come up to inform them, these people are have arrived here and are kind of, you know, kind of messing up things in the land of the dead. Do you want to do anything about it? And her reply, I'm going to read her reply. I kind of liked it. Says, so the guy comes in and he's like, if they acquire the hot spring, and her reply to that is, then they will row out of here and into chaos and consequence for the worlds beyond. And yet, I have said this before, have I not? It is not for me to keep the hellbound in hell. Hell is not a prison, it is a ring of trials, where great questions are asked, and those who find their way here, we do not have these answers yet. How am I to make up my mind? This intruder, have his sins been weighed, or has he yet to commit them? If he has been brought to our shores in a noble pursuit, does he deserve to suffer them for all eternity? And Malekith the Accursed, has he suffered long enough for his sins in the past? Perhaps I haven't asked these questions hard enough. As it so happens, the most curious of questions now roams the ice in pursuit of the answers, even as we speak. Perhaps I must nudge along this final trial. Come, Helgard, we shall have answers yet, or we shall have carnage. As we turn to Carnage and Neely and the Carnage Hellhound, and Carnage actually reveals a little bit here. about, having gifted, if you will, Detective Jonathan Shade this portion of the symbiote, thinking it would be a fun trial for his new potential host, this, serial killer Neely. And so he's saying, he goes, Cletus, Cletus, my dear, Cletus, you treacherous, bad word. I did not foresee your influence lingering yet in my flesh. Now, woven through John Shade's body, you have betrayed me. You have betrayed us. Apparently, hellhounds can't sniff their way through a blizzard in hell, so yes, Kenneth, my obvious little whelp, we're lost. And so he's actually as we can see, he's actually starting to realize that maybe giving this symbiote to Shade wasn't the greatest of ideas, right? And and so then we'll kind of move a little forward in the story. They're they're basically approached here by Helia, and Helia comes to some sort of deal with them. It's not actually revealed what the deal is. She sort of comes up and like whispers it in Carnage's ear. So it's not revealed to us what their deal is, but they take off together. So Helia's got a plan, right? We're not quite sure what her intentions are. And then we go back to Detective Jonathan Shade and Malekith, as Malekith is continuing to kill all these frost giants. And I'll read some of this too. Shade goes, Malekith. And in his head, Cletus says, he won't listen. You're wasting your breath. And Shade says to Malekith, we should find that key and get out of here. Stop. We're running out of time. As he kind of backhands and pushes him away, Malekith does, and he says, I'm not done yet. For an eternity they tortured me, day and night, out in the cold. They bent my mind and broke my bones. If I kill every last denizen of hell, it will not be enough. And Shade says, I can't let you do this. This wasn't our deal. And in his head, Cletus says, oh, John, you were doing so well up to this moment. And, back to the action, Malekith says, oh, what is this? Are you growing some kind of conscience, Shade? You knew fully well who I was when you set me free. Now you regret it? Fine. I will show you the pain of keeping regrets in hell if I must. As just as Shade and Malekith are about to come to blows, who arrives but Helia, Carnage, Carnage's Hellhound, and Neely, the serial killer, in this super awesome 2-page spread. Just kind of holding it so you guys can check that out. Like I said, this series has been awesome. The art's been fantastic. And so, they're all surprised, and he goes, Pain, oh elf, I am about to show you meanings of pain that you did not even know existed. And Helia says, a fitting punishment for trying to sneak out before your time, don't you think, Malekith? As Malekith replies, have I encountered creatures like you before? The last ones I used as an instrument of my war, true, have been in hell for far too long, and it has sapped my strength some, but I have fought gods and felled them. I have fought heroes and shown them despair. I will not fall here to some crawling life form who drifted in from space. I do not know what you want with me, but you do not have the strength to kill me. As Carnage comes up, and he says, and I'm going to show you this one too, this is awesome. He goes, I know I do have a bit of history, but why does everyone assume that I'm here to kill them? As you see him sort of draining some sort of life force from Malekith, right? So there's some life force there being drained. Not 100% what's going on with that. And then at the same time as that's going on, we kind of see where Detective Shade's at, and he's fighting this giant hellhound beast. He's kind of got like one arm is carnageized and Carnage symbiote sort of all over him, right? So he's super powered up, and he sees Neely, and he goes, Neely! And Cletus says in Shade's head, go on, John, cut loose for once, eviscerate the fool, pull out his innards. And the Neely says, John Shade, right? As John Shade starts running for him full bore. And he goes, you are the reason for all of this. You're the reason I'm in hell. And Cletus says in his head, this is Kenneth Neely, the man who would take my place? As before he can get there, like a giant kind of undead Viking guy comes in, puts down a staff, and Helios says, Now, only I am the purveyor of all punishments in hell, and neither of you belong here just yet. Part of my covenant with the fleshy red thing is to keep this pathetic human alive, so sit and be quiet. Shade of Midgard. I don't know, I guess she calls him Shade of Midgard, right? So there, we kind of see that like a bunch of undead things come up out of the ground and grab Shade with all their arms. Best way to describe it. So he's kind of held at bay by Helia, and she says, you're ruining the show. And I do love to watch as he can still talk even though he's wrapped up by all these undead things. And he goes, do you know what Carnage is trying to do? Do you know where all this leads? And Helia says, no, but I have some idea of where he's going, some idea of what he's about to do. And by the gods, I do love a good apocalypse. As we see through that Carnage has fully sucked out whatever he wanted from Malekith. And he says, this is interesting, guys. He says, I have now a piece of you, but an important piece, my sweetest. Venom. And we see, I'll show this so you can kind of see what they're trying to hint at. It's almost as though he has, or is going for Venom, trying to develop a powers that would be strong enough for him to defeat Venom. Now, if you remember in the beginning of this series, guys, they kind of showed that he wanted the ultimate power, and he was super jealous of Venom for becoming King in Black. So I feel like that's his ultimate goal, is to try to take down the King in Black, the current King in Black, who right now is Venom. It really seems like that's what this is leading towards, especially with that last reveal there. Him saying Venom and kind of his hand, you see in his hand that there's like black venomy symbiote lines. And like I said, I want to say it was issue 1 or 2, they sort of revealed that that what's left of the Carnage symbiote without Cletus, this symbiote without a bonded partner, basically, is just very jealous of Venom becoming King in Black, and at the same time very jealous of the former King in Black and just anybody that has a lot of power, basically. And like I said too, guys, if you notice, there's this Detective Jonathan Shade character who's kind of I don't know the best way to describe it, but it's super interesting to me because he's sort of being dragged along on this adventure, right? Somewhat against his will, but he has, like any hero that you want to root for. He's good, and he doesn't want to, like, as him and Malekith are, he thinks he's awakened Malekith to help him, get out of hell, basically, right? Because that's what Malekith said. But then as he's kind of going along with this, he's like, why are we wasting our time killing all these people? I thought you said you were going to help me get out of here. Actually, kind of seem like you're a bad guy who's on a revenge tour and you're just gonna kill everybody. We're gonna be here forever. um, and I don't really, why am I coming with you to be, in fact, yeah. And so then that's when they kind of got into their argument, and perfect timing, in comes Carnage to, just settle the situation basically and finish Malekith without Shade ever really having to stop him from killing a ton of additional people, right? However, though, obviously, as we know, that's probably superpowered Carnage even more now, and he's definitely on a killing spree tour or sucking the life out of people tour, whatever you want to call it, to create or to become as powerful as a King in Black and maybe be able to take down a King in Black. Yep. I'm thinking I'm having a lot of fun with this. There's upcoming dark web crossovers with a bunch of the Spider-Man titles too. Super curious how that all is gonna play out. I don't know. Yeah, guys, let me know down in the comments if anybody's on board and has been reading Carnage. What do you guys think about Detective Jonathan Shade? Are you enjoying this new character? I definitely am, and I got to give Carnage number 7 a thumbs up. All right, guys, that's what I have today. We'll see you tomorrow, and have a great day.